Alright, what's good guys? How are we doing? We're back for backtesting session number 2. We're basically just going to use this as practice for the funded accounts. So just running the 20% and seeing how we go. I'm trying to see whether we adjust the 20% once we're actually in profit, because that amount's going to get bigger and bigger, or whether we just keep it at the max amount of the starting account. So the max drawdown that we can afford is usually $2,000. So 20% is 400. The max risk we can ever lose for a day is 20% of our initial max risk. I think that's still a lot to work with, and if we can rack up a few wins in a row to give us a really nice buffer, then that 400 starts to compound and we can take a few losing days before we're back at break even. Whereas opposed to if that 20% increases, you're also increasing your risk. So the chances of you going back to where you started also get higher. If we're thinking about this in the long term and we're going to have losing streaks, just weathering all that, it's probably a better strategy to go for the shortened risk that keeps us in the game a little bit longer, as opposed to bigger gains potentially, but bigger losses. Go back to the session that we were at. I don't think it was this one. Negative 8 bands. Might not have been that one. Hold up. It was this one. Yeah, that looks even better. Yeah, so we left off with 100 in profit. So we've still got $2,000, let's say, for our max risk. So because we're in profit, it stays at 400, which is 20% of our afforded risk. And let's get into the session. Starting with day of the week, we'll just probably start with a new week here. London, the next day. So starting with a weekly, daily, 4 hour. So I'm going to keep this strategy the same. I'm going to do my prayer, read my Bible, meditate, just keep that consistent going on. I'm going to do that real quick and then jump into the charts. Huge. This is where we're at. Done the meditation, prayer, and the reading. We're looking at this on a weekly, daily, and then 4 hour time frame. Based on what I'm seeing here, we've had a long bullish push up. We've reached a sort of peak and potentially looking for a pullback to these equal lows down in here and potentially filling out this gap before looking for higher pricing. Looks like we're at all-time highs, so it's never a really good idea to short unless you're really sure. We'd be looking for a closure below here to indicate further bearish price. Label this 4 hour chart. Based on that, if we see momentum taking these highs, it looks like we're going to be pushing up. Weekly profiles have been working really well for me. Monday usually being the move away from where the rest of the week's going. We're in an uptrend. We're expecting bearish prices on a Monday and your Friday for those reversals. So break it all down now. 4 hour on this side, we'll go 15 and then a 5 minute on here. We identify on the London session where Asia is, what we've done after midnight, leading up to 2 and then 3 o'clock. And then if we're seeing spooling to the downside at 3, more than likely 4 is going to follow with some continuation. Looking for Asia high potentially to be made for today. I don't really see much reason of us getting all the way back up, which is above these highs, which would indicate more than likely we're going to tap here and then floor, or keep pushing up higher. Based on these closures, I still think that we push lower. To be honest, I don't really mind having a stab for a move with Asia highs as the stop loss. I just want to see how the 3 o'clock momentum starts. Be what midnight resting just above as well. See the reaction. If we respect this and then push lower, I'll be in for a short. Use Asia highs as the stop. Decent closure on the 15. Just looking for one more to back it up. Looking good. Okay, I don't like the wick. Taking out this and then closing above. So this potentially could be a bullish play. Still got a while for this 4 hour closure too. Let's see. Decent close here. Just still holding this. Just vibes. Not really doing too much. Still haven't taken these highs. Just working on being super patient until you see something that warrants getting in a trade. We still have a CB up in here, so we'll see if Asian highs are still protected or whether we run for them after wicking the lows. Definitely still bullish here. It might just be a no trade day today. Okay, let's see if we invert this. Looking for a closure below this, which would indicate lower prices. So looking for a closure at least like on the 15, below that spot. Right now we're just going back and forth, so not a good spot to get in a trade. Market's too indecisive. Just wait. Still closing above that blue line, so not interested. Okay. Here's our first closure below, so we're going to take this trade. Take a short, use Asia highs as high of day. And so we're looking for first partial at that blue line, but I think we can look to take these equal lows. We looked from the weekly time frame, right? Get all that room to the downside. So that's my reasoning for expecting us to go lower. Just looking to partial and move to break even if we can get to this 4-hour liquidity. We either take this and then run up or continue spilling to the downside, which is what I feel might happen. We potentially have this low in here as well. Looking at about a 6-hour on the trade, so placing order, risking 20% of the initial balance. The estimated loss is 543. Keep it at the initial 400. We're saving ourselves an extra $143 straight away off the bat. We're just going to monitor on a 5. I think I'm liking a 5 minute as the time frame to use. It's a bit small with this going on. Let's see if we can adjust this a bit lower. Okay. So we're really wanting this 2 hours to see if we get a closure below down here. Closure above VWAP is not ideal on the 15 and on the 5. Let's see if it's just a VWAP spike, whether we start using it as support. Okay, we do. I think that warrants us to cut this one. Just a bit frustrating. We can always look to get back in. So we're just going to close, take 100% off. Just not liking the closures above VWAP and then using it as support. So maybe this stop gets red. I still don't mind the reversal play as we're at 10 o'clock now. So potentially 10-10 reversal coming in. So I'm liking that we're respecting this. Time is it? 10. I think we run this again. We get a slightly better entry here. We'll take it. Oops. Just above this high. That's taking Asian highs as well. So yeah, I'm liking this. We'll move to the downside. 20% of the usual balance. I think because we've already had a loss today, we'll just shorten down the risk to 10%. Still be a decent risk to reward on this one here. The same plan as before. Monitoring on the 5. Watching the reaction to every rock here. If we start closing above here, we're going to have to close out the loss. Good closures below midnight is what we want to start seeing on the 5. At a 15-minute level of support, just weeked out all this liquidity as well. Just got to be mindful. Based on the reactions there, I'm liking potential further movement to the downside here. There's a lunchtime macro coming in. We are using midnight still as support, which I don't like to see. Let's just let this one continue to move. Taking out the liquidity resting there, we'll go stops to break even at this point. And again, still looking for partials at this spot right here. I'm thinking, because we do have a lot of room to the downside, I'm thinking probably like 20% off here. And then hopefully we can have this continue to move. We continue seeing the displacement that we need to see. And then just watching this 4-hour closure as well. If we see that closure below, very high probability that we're going down. It is Monday though. Mondays usually are a massive move. And if they are, then the rest of the week usually will follow suit. We're now in Asia the next day. We've had to hold this trade for a while. So at this spot, we're looking to take 20% off. Especially if there's more room for this to go. So if it's already at the peak of a move, it's probably not ideal. You're better off just taking maybe 80% off. But if we've still potentially got all this, take 20% profit. Look to adjust our stops as well now. I'm just trying to look for a spot that isn't too obvious for where those equal highs right there is a night. Essentially just above midnight. Don't need to choke the trade. If it reverses on us, it reverses. But let this one continue to play out. It looks like a good opportunity, but it's too sus because of how close they are. But I mean, if we run for our TP, then if we're close to taking out these lows, it makes sense to have the adjustment. Let's see. It's a very big Asian range as well, so wouldn't be surprised. It's now Tuesday as well. So I believe we've taken Monday as a low. Couldn't wait till we hit midnight. Taking out the highs on the 15 minute. 15 is like basically where majority I'm spending my time. All these other time frames are just confluences for what we need to see. So this is good. The closure below on a 4, it's more than likely we're looking to run the liquidity that's resting here. This might be a short week where short pricing is where majority of the trade wants to go. Just looking at reactions here now. We don't want to see this inverted. If we see this inverted, we're going to take some partials. Ideally, this is just where people look to get into the move, continuing to the downside. There we go. Beautiful. So wanting that continuation at 4 to the downside here. Just making sure that we're seeing what we need to see. We're going to adjust the stops here. Take it to these equal highs that we had before. I'm just thinking with all of this liquidity, it probably should be here actually. Take it off at these highs. Take profit 17727. Take profit must be less than right. Alright, that's fine. We'll just manually get out of the trade, that's cool. Let's see if we want to have some further continuation to the downside here. Next spot we're looking for is this liquidity in here. Very nice target, and it will look to hold all of this as well. Let's see if we can get a closure down there. And as soon as we start to see things that we don't want to see, then that's when we look to start partialing and take another 20% off. And stops, mental stops, I think based on this reaction, we're going to give this liquidity some room. But if we get up to here, we're going to take ourselves out of the position. So if we use VWAP for further support to the downside here. Just watching this 4 hours here, hoping that we don't invert. We do still have some room, but it's not the PA you'd want to be seeing. Okay, wow. We're at that spot now. Going too quick. Take 20% off once again, and then hopefully leave the rest for tip. Let's see if we can reach the bottom. Very close to this here. So I feel like we run up for V1 and then look to go in further. So I'm going to add to this position here. We got a pyramid and entry. I take a pretty small position. We'll do it here now actually. Just running the same TP here. We're trying to get at least a 1 to 2 reward. Otherwise there's too much point adding in the extra risk. But it's fine. We'll make the order here. We're just going to risk percent. So make this a limit order. Okay. It's about an extra 200 or so if it runs up to here. So I set this one play, and we might just invert TP hit this one up. Cool. And that's the trade. So nice up 3 band, approaching that sort of double of the account size, but this is what I mean, we're just using the 20%. Still decent enough chunk of change. And then obviously if you're stacking accounts, if you have this by 2, 3, 4 accounts, it starts to add up pretty quick. So that's nice for the Monday move, because we had such a steep move and Tuesday's continued steep. I think the play is for the rest of the week bearish price action. And that's why it's so handy to start with that higher time frame analysis to give you where the lower time frame should be moving towards. So we'll zoom out. We're just going to label these points where we expect price to turn around. Okay, this is a weekly. So basically, if you're not familiar with the term busy, anywhere in this region is a good buying spot, because the momentum is bearish. We've got a bit of a gap here. So anywhere that you're looking to buy, you'd want to be doing it in this box. So all we're doing now is looking on a lower time frame. So this is weekly, it's pretty high. And because we're so far above, we've got this level, which is about halfway point. Usually if we're still going to be bullish, we'd want to see halfway really respected. So it's not a bad idea to go in for a bit of a higher risk entry in here, because if you've got enough people on your side, it should start reversing from that midpoint. You don't need to catch the falling knife, as they say. It might run all the way down here before reversing. It might take all of this out. If you get in here, you're going to be in a lot of drawdown if it's getting here. So you're better off just waiting, seeing if you see other people thinking like you. If there's enough, jump in. You've got the momentum on your side. We should be still pushing lower, and then potentially Friday is where we hit the bottom and start reversing. So break this on a daily. We are now at a daily busy down in here as well. Let's label this green. Daily busy. And this analysis, although it's a bit annoying, it's so helpful in increasing your win rate. The more time that you spend doing this, more than likely your win rate is going to be going up too. Just putting in the work, putting in the time. Based on the momentum that I've been seeing here on a daily as well, very strong to the downside. Monday had a bit of a doji, and then Tuesday we're floored, so we should see continued action through Wednesday, Thursday. Hopefully Friday is where we start to reverse around these key areas. Still looking for shorts for the time being. If we can get a better entry, we'll wait for that, but if not, all good. So time, we will go to London. Looks like we've recovered a little bit. Break this down to a 4 hour. So decent zone to short would be like here, taking out these highs and then looking for a shorting position up in here. All of this as blue. What I noticed this week was using civvies like this, where you got the wick and then you got the body. If price is reaching here, very low likelihood that we're going to continue pushing lower. But reaching here and then we're seeing a sharp reaction away, high probability to get it short. If we're meandering up to here, more than likely we've got bullish pressure still holding. We'll wait to see that. We don't really need to get in this upward move, the trend to the downside. Got to be mindful of what we're seeing here. So we have wick, all of this, and closed above. So this could be a reversal spot as well. We'll just see where the momentum is. Ideally, we want to be inverting this at 3 o'clock. So if we get an inversion to the downside. Still holding, we're in short here. We'll take an Asian session high, so we should start melting now. Stop loss at this high. Final TP should be the bottom of this box. I don't think we're going to get there. This should be majority of the position. We're looking at about 80% close to this midpoint line. Taking 20% off here. Label these zones in yellow, where we should be looking to do something with our profits. Spot in there. We got the daily busy in green, which we'll look to take some. This point, and then rest, which will be 20% of whatever's here. We'll look to take off if we get down here. It's an 18R trade. I always go for the high R trades. I'm happy to take a few losses because all you need is really like one of these and you're set. If that win rate can jump up even to 30, 35%, you just got to take 3 trades, 4 trades. Over time, it works out. Post trade, we're going to go back to the 20%. Initial balance. Just making sure that we're getting closures above these key levels. Don't want to wick and then come back. Still looking to melt. We've got spots to potentially add. So actually we'll add in here. I like this reaction. Taking out the highs, close below. Looking to add into this position. So I got 400 risk available now. Probably add an extra 100 to potentially make 1,000. Not bad risk to reward. Slightly better RR now, like 15 hour. Let's see if we get tapped in here. If we break these lows, I'm going to take this file. Building up liquidity. Okay, tapped in for the second trade now. View up, still resting there. Now looking for these lows to be taken and closing below the lows. Looking for a closure below. Closing on the 15. Mainly we're watching out. Big rejection work, I'm not liking that. Just see where we are on a higher time frame standpoint. I'm not liking on a 4 hour that we've wicked all of this and then we've come back like this. And now we're starting to see the same thing here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the big trade that we have off. I'm just not liking that reaction at all. And I'm working on that, trying to make reactions based on what price is telling rather than what I want to see. I think based on that, we'll take 100% of this one off. Still $300 on the day, so it's top step. We'll take this trade off. Still got this one and this stop loss. We've got $100 risk on this. It would be up about 200 on the day or so if this comes back and reverses on us. And then it's an extra 1.5 if we hit down here. I don't think we're gonna make it all the way, but $100 to risk, to be honest. Yeah, I reckon we just keep everything as is. Let's see how we go. Yeah, I'm gonna go break even here. So 300 for the day locked in, very decent. Yeah, for this one, because it's a smaller position, what we're gonna do is just let this one ride. So 9:30 opening, approach. That wick to the downside. So let's follow through. Okay. So now I'm just gonna watch on a 5 where we start inverting with displacement. As soon as we start seeing that, we're out. So all of these levels are key, right? We marked them all before. And we're just looking to see if we can see any reversal profiles. If not, we'll just let this one continue to play for us. Okay, so that is what we didn't want to see. So we'll take ourselves out of this one. An extra $60 or so. So that's not bad. About $400 on the day. But so on a 4 hour, I still don't like that we close so low. I have a feeling this might just be manipulation for. If it is, then we can look to get in again. So watching this 5 minute here on the right hand side. Yeah, this might just have been a fake out. Yeah, I think it was. It's gonna be just a tighter risk trade here. I think we shouldn't be coming past this spike until like lunchtime or something like that. And then just looking to take off probably majority at that 50%. We've still got the whole BC to potentially fill. So we'll leave the whole thing for the whole BC. We've already had a win today, so we're only going to lose 10%. Half of the win that we had, so we're still going to walk over 200 if this completely reverts, but we'll try and minimize the risk off the bat. We don't need to be giving our profits away. So we'll make a market. It's a, and this is Wednesday now, okay. We're looking for a continuation play if Tuesday was still heavy. I think we should see this for the rest of the week until Friday. So this one play out. Watching the 5, it's a bit hard to see. Scoot this one in. It's probably going to be the smallest. 15 is where you want to be watching everything. And then 5 is for finding partial spots and adjusting stocks. So let's see if we can continue moving to the downside here. Looks like we're inverting all of this here. Might have been too obvious of a stop loss there, but let's have a look. Seeing what we need to see on a 5 is very choppy. Bullish momentum is coming back. Bearish now coming back. So daily BC is at that green line. Just watching the 15 minute to see how we react. Alright, see this closure here on the 15. If we get a lot of bullish momentum, we might look to just get out of this one. That's not looking too great. A lot of bearish wicks. We'll see where this 4 hour wants to close in 44 minutes. I think we don't take ourselves out just yet, but it's not looking too good. Okay, nice 4 hour closure. Expecting further pricing to the downside here. Right, see if it's set to stops to break even. I think that's safe. No risks now, risk off the trade. And let's see if we can continue some momentum. Looking again to take 80% off if we can get to this 50%. Okay, dang. Bit unfortunate looking at this daily busy side. We've tapped it a few times now. So yeah, this could be a valid spot for price to start reversing. And again, on a weekly, if we're still super bullish, we shouldn't see price want to go lower. Like we should see buyers just itching and waiting to get in, and you're seeing them getting in early at these potential buy spots. So yeah, if we just start zooming from here, it'll be a very good opportunity to start going long. But I feel like we might just hover for a little bit. It's about to be Thursday, coming in at midnight. If we see further movement to the downside, looking for reactions around here or the bottom of that BC that we outlined before. So I'll just do 1 week and then we'll call it here. So this is Wednesday. Skip across now to London session. All right, that's exactly what we were talking about. So if we see this and then we see a lot of buyers interested, especially on a higher time frame, we've flipped our buyers to look for longs. It's crazy, absolutely inverting both of these 4 hour CBs that we labeled before. So now we have switched looking for longs. So glad that we got stopped out when we did. Good that we moved to break even. This could have been a very expensive trade. That's why trade management is. So you never really want to when we've already had a big move like this. And especially because the momentum shift has gone bullish, you don't really want to try and short. So when I first started trading, you'd want to get every direction right. You want to be like, all right, I can call when it's going to reverse, and you really don't need to. Especially if you want to be profitable, you don't need to worry about it. What I did this week, which I want to start employing, is setting alerts. I wish you could do that. I think you can skip to where if price goes to a certain level, then it goes there, but it's a bit too much for me. I think I'm just going to be patient in a real life situation. At least I've afforded a bit of skipping. And then just look to get in at some of these zones. So we got this one, and then we got this zone in here on a 4 hour. Potentially on a 15, we might see something a little bit cleaner, especially if we've inverted the fair value gaps, which we have. This is an inversion of fair value gap. Mark this out. Probably wouldn't want to see price getting too much lower than this. It's be a decent spot to get in. And if it wants to go a little bit lower, at least at that halfway point, if we see price making a recovery, we can always add into our position if we're winning, right? We need to see what we need to see rather than just hoping for it. So yeah, these two golden zones and then this box. So we're just going to wait, see if price can come down and tap us in. And if not, we might have to just either readjust or just can the trade. And that's fine. If you miss the move, you miss the move. It is what it is. Just waiting to see. More than likely we take this liquidity, and this could be the start of the spooling to the downside. Again, because we're like counter trend now, there's not much point trying to ride the wave to the downside. After such a big move like that, we should see some sort of recovery. But with all this momentum, you just never want to fight it. You never know. We could just still keep pumping. So we're now straight into the London session. Really no trade today. First session. The 9:30 usually has a way of reverting back to midnight opening price or the new day opening gap. So usually around that time you'll see it, but the gap's so low today, we've already expanded so much higher. Very unlikely. So looking at all this, there was really no opportunity to get a decent buy. You were just running the risk of buying in here, expecting it to keep on moving. And there will be a pullback. Waiting for the pullback has yielded better results for me. So we're in the PM session now, 4 o'clock. Nothing to show for that day. So that was Thursday. Now we're approaching Friday. Because it's TGIF usually, we could anticipate lower pricing. We'll just zoom out to a daily, see how the week has gone off. We had Monday here. Tuesday, we took out Monday's low. Wednesday, we took out Tuesday's low. Reacted off this SIBI, which is that green line that we labeled. And then sharp rejection away. Ideally, on a Friday, if we've had this type of PA, we should see price starting to come back down to fill this. So all these people who have had wins throughout the week, they're exiting their positions, taking their profit, selling here. So there's more sellers involved at the end of the week, or whatever the trending direction is. Because you got to think, wherever the big move is, people are going to get out to take their profit, right? And so that means that they're adding the opposite into the market. So if they've been holding long, buying, and now they've got to sell to take profit, all of a sudden there's more sellers naturally involved, coupled with the people that want to short it and do the reversal. So on a Monday or a Friday, I'm happy to go against the trend. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you should be looking for either Monday's high low or looking for continuation plays on where the momentum has been. Now would be a good time to draw fib. Whenever you're seeing strong movement in one direction, now's a decent time to pull out a Fibonacci tool and draw where a good spot to be buying would be. We go from here to here. So 50% falls nicely in line with here. And this was one of our golden zones that we outlined before of that first entry. I don't mind this spot. Looking to probably have a light position and then look to have majority of the position in a limit order just waiting here. We just need to see the price action though. If we rip straight through this one, probably best to just take this off. But keep everything as is for the time being. Get rid of this yellow line. That's insane price delivery right there. Ideally, would be looking to short with our exit plan around here. So let's go to London session, 3 o'clock. So we've already taken Asian highs here. Very small Asian range. So we have still taken it at 2. So I'm honestly inclined to just go straight away on a short on this play. A short right here. That stops at this high. We might still run it for the high. So risk reward to take. We're looking to take off majority at 50%. Risk reward again is decent. We could probably even use just a little bit more. Like a 10 eyes, plenty. So that's going to be our risk reward. We got a 20%. Initial balance 400. And let's get ready to monitor this one as well. I'd like to see us invert this as well. Beautiful, good inversion. Taking Asian lows now, just wanting to see continuation to the downside. Tap off VWAP here, 2 tap. That's actually an ad right in there. So I'd actually pyramid right here. Price right in there, take it at this high. I'm liking this trade a lot. Makes a lot of sense. It's Friday. We've been moving up for quite some time. So usually there should be a reaction back to the downside once we've found the terminus point. 4 o'clock's just hit. We're spooling. Beautiful. We've got room to let this one ride down. Then we can move our stops to break even. Just don't want to move too early. Up, still resting above. There it is, tapped on the 15. Want to see some spooling to the downside now. Show a 5 minute here. That would have been second. Mine was stopped out at break even. Approaching 8:30. You're wanting to see price move back to the downside here. Looks like they're not getting that first. Stop out potentially here. Yep. Second one hit as well. That's A-okay. And this is why it's always a bit of a risk going against the trend. especially when we have such big ranging days like this. Wait to see what 10-10 might provide. Okay. Watching for 10-10. You can see continuation to the downside. Yeah. See where this wants to close now. Seeing some bearish candles in the roll. Let's see if we close below all of that. Yeah, it's looking like one more attempt here. One more attempt. Why is the risk to reward so equalized right here? That's okay. Alright. Let's see what I'm gonna risk 10%. That's what he adjusted it for us. Looking to run this one hopefully to full TP. No partial is taken. Looking for straight scoring. Yeah, I'm just not liking the bullish momentum. Looking for like a structure shift. Still no closures on the 5. And bullish PAs holding too strong on this. I think this might just have to be a closeout here. So just watching on the 15, we got 4 minutes to go here. Let's see how this closes. Not great. Just watching the 15 here. Any closures above midnight, canceling the trade. We can close, fill out that CB, and push below those lows we've just made. We'll go to break even. Okay, closure, break even. I still think it's a little bit early, so probably just above these highs. Just a little bit early. Hopefully we get that supplying. So what day is this now? Moving into Sunday, and then now like Monday coming up too. Still expecting this to drop here. As we said, just letting this one run. Hopefully the TP stocks can go break even now. Looking for London, hopefully to take us here on Monday. Just consolidating down in Asia, which is expected. Look to take the highs here. Looking for the highs taken, and then we see the downside. Still wanting the highs here. Yeah, wanting this taken first. The highs taken, now we want to start seeing movement to the downside. Waiting for key time frames, potentially 7. So where we see the reversal play out. Our eyes out for 7. 7 o'clock now. Approaching 8:30. See if we nice pulling to the downside. Lucky we get stopped out here. 9:30 open. Usually has some volatility in the mix. 10-10 lunchtime macro. I think that's us done for the week. Based on this reaction, we might not get as deep as we thought. Bullish momentum might just keep rocking us there, but yeah, this is what I mean. Ideally, you just want to really set an alert, be away from the charts until you're at these key zones. As I was saying before, it's never really a good idea to run the risk of trying to short a move like this. Should have just stuck to it and waited until price got to here before looking for a long. So we did lose $400 there at the end, but still a decent day today. I think we started the day up 700 and then we're up 2.9. So 2.2k a week, essentially, risking at 20%. So that's not too bad at all. With a few accounts, as we said, combined. Got 5 accounts, that's a 10k a week. It's not bad at all. And we did give away some profits too. Yeah, thank you for joining. This is backtesting session number 2. Hope you're learning something, enjoying the series. As always, if you have any feedback, please drop it in the comments. It helps everyone else that's watching as well. If you notice something, it doesn't hurt to say to improve the quality. Please consider subscribing. You'll be notified when I make new videos, trying to post pretty regularly at the moment. And yeah, if you wouldn't mind liking the content, if you did like the video, just helps the good old algorithm and boosting the content out there. Appreciate your time as always. Peace.